Caracas cries foul. A Venezuelan fishing boat boarded at gunpoint by US Marines. An act Venezuela calls illegal, hostile, and a provocation to war. As 5 American F-35s land in Puerto Rico, Maduro arms civilians for battle. The Caribbean is on edge, and a dangerous standoff between Washington and Caracas is spiraling fast. Amid escalating tensions between the US and Venezuela, Caracas has accused the United States of illegally boarding and occupying one of its fishing vessels in the country's special economic zone. Accompanied by Vice Minister for the Caribbean Raul Licausi and Vice Minister for Latin America Randa Pena, Venezuela's Foreign Minister Ivan Gil said on September 13th that the Venezuelan tuna boat Carmen Rosa was sailing 48 nautical miles northeast of the island of La Blanquilla when US Marines assaulted it. While reading a statement, Gil told journalists the Venezuelan tuna boat was illegally and hostilely boarded by a United States Navy destroyer.
A Venezuelan tuna fishing vessel, Carmen Rosa, the one we see here, a long-line vessel that works the Venezuelan Caribbean Sea, authorized by our Ministry of Fisheries with 9 humble fishermen on board, was in a hostile manner boarded by a unit of the United States Navy, a military unit, a frigate, a missile destroyer, the one we see here, the missile destroyer Jason Dunham, hull number DDG-109, equipped with significant weaponry, missiles, personnel, military troops and soldiers, and officers carrying long guns, war weapons. They used their resources so that, from a ship, they boarded the Venezuelan vessel with 18 men armed with long guns. The Venezuelan government demands that the United States immediately cease these actions that put the security and peace in the Caribbean at risk.
Although the foreign minister did not refer to any particular official, he reiterated that some sectors of the US government use the armed forces to promote war confrontations.
Those who give the order to make these provocations are seeking an incident that justifies a war escalation in the Caribbean. The incident reflects the shameful behavior of political sectors in Washington that irresponsibly commit very high-cost military resources and trained soldiers as instruments to manufacture a pretext for war adventures, also undermining their own prestige and military honor by carrying out such a grotesque and excessive maneuver.
The incident comes amid growing tension between Washington and Caracas after a US military strike in the Caribbean on September 2nd killed 11 people and sank a Venezuelan boat that, according to President Donald Trump, was transporting illegal narcotics to the United States. Meanwhile, 5 US F-35 aircraft were seen landing in Puerto Rico on September 13th after American President Donald Trump last week ordered 10 of the stealth fighters to join a military buildup in the Caribbean to counter drug cartels amid rising tensions with Venezuela. Reuters reported that the F-35s landed at the former Roosevelt Roads military base in Chiba, Puerto Rico. In recent days, US helicopters, Osprey aircraft, other US transport aircraft and military personnel have been seen at the base. The latest sightings came after a surprise visit to Puerto Rico this week by the US Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, along with the top US general, amid escalating tensions with Venezuela. The war zone reported that the jets join an armada that includes 4,500 Marines and sailors, at least 8 ships, including a nuclear-powered Los Angeles-class fast attack submarine and many other military assets. The air combat element that's part of the amphibious group has AV-8B plus Harriers deployed to the USS Iwo Jima as well. A second flight of 4 F-35s from MCS Yuma is also headed toward Puerto Rico. The war zone wrote that it is unclear what missions the F-35s will perform. However, it further said that it is not unusual to have high-end aircraft join the fight against narcotics trafficking. The F-35s bring a wide array of capabilities wherever they are deployed. While best known for its kinetic capabilities, including striking targets and taking on enemy aircraft, The Joint Strike Fighter is an extremely powerful intelligence gathering tool with its highly capable radar and electro-optical systems. Yet its electronic intelligence gathering ability is perhaps its most potent reconnaissance asset. As Washington is amassing fighter jets in Puerto Rico, Venezuela is training its civilians to use firearms. As part of President Nicolás Maduro's defense strategy, citizens enrolled in the Bolivarian National Militia learned to operate firearms from the Presidential Guard of Honor in a Caracas barracks.
Today, we are participating in a civilian military training exercise, following our President Nicolás Maduro Moros's instructions. In this civilian military union, we seek to consolidate our knowledge of the defense of our country for what is to come, so that integral defense is secured.
A civilian receiving training said that it was important for people to be ready for what was coming.
Of course, it's important to learn to handle these kinds of information, because given current events, which we don't know how they will unfold, we must be ready for any future situation. Therefore, it's important that all people manage this information.
The training kicked off at 312 barracks around the country following a recruitment call by Maduro amid rising tensions with the United States. According to Venezuelan media, the militia is a branch of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, and the training is part of Operation Independence 200.